watch more. Now, this is the bit where the audience get to ask Martin questions that he hasn't seen. Get me on back.
Bring them on. I haven't got one wrong yet, have I?
No.
OK, good. Series 13, episode 13. Thank you very much. It's so going wrong today, isn't it?
Series 13. Can I just say, though, I've got myself a cup of coffee today and I thought I was finally Martin's equal. I've got a cup of coffee and what does he have? A special mug with "It Pays to Watch" on it.
It Pays to Watch mug. Look at that. I'd just like to say we had an audience member who suggested that I have a branded mug, even though, to be fair, Chapter 4 of my book is called Forget Loyalty and Don't Deal with Brands. But if it's my own, it's fine. I love it. Thank you very much for organising it for me, back team. It's really kind of you. I like it.
Yeah, marvellous. I'm your branded mug. Now, listen, go and have another chat to our volunteers, because I know you like to go a little bit further with them afterwards, don't you?
Now, you were in the green room, you lot, so you were going through it all. How simple was it, Alison? How did you find it?
It was fine. We had lots of help, and it was quite straightforward. Yeah.
I mean,
followed everything step by step.
It's quite staggering how much cheaper the calls are when you look at them. Where were your biggest calls? What was Sue? I mean, our winner over there with the golden piggies, near 500 quid saved on. What have you saved on mostly?
Mobile phones. They were the massive. Absolutely massive.
Because you're calling on BT.
Yeah.
You're paying 12. You want option 1 BT?
Option 1.
Yeah, so you were even on the basic option. So you're paying 12.5p a minute. We're now cutting it down to around 6p a minute when you factor everything in. I have to say, there is another way you can save money on home phones, you know. You could use it a bit less too.
My mum tells me that.
Yeah. Who are you talking to mostly? Do you mind if I ask?
My 2 children are at university at the minute, so I'm trying to keep in contact with them.
And you're calling them on their mobiles?
And friends as well.
I mean, the other thing you could do if they're at uni, do they have laptops?
Yeah.
Are they connected to the internet?
One of them is erratically.
And are you connected to the internet?
I am.
I mean, the other way is you could talk through Skype, and it's totally free, any call you make through Skype, if you're really looking to knock the bill down that way. Right. The override providers, you're going to have to dial the prefix code. It always staggers me that people say, but that's a bit of a hassle. Not worried?
No, not if it saves money.
High five. Let me tell you, one little trick I would do is I would just put a little sticker on the top of your phone, you know, that says, for calling mobiles, for calling landlines, and then set up your prefix dial so you can go beep, beep. It will dial the 18185 or whatever override number you're using, and then you dial the number that you need. Much easier. So we're happy.
Yeah.
Yay! I'll take my mug and go back off over there. Lovely. Thank you for doing that.
And I think you're going to have another chat with Matt now. He's got a smart car, seems like a pretty smart fella. What was the thing you didn't cover? Was it cashback credit cards with him?
Well, yeah, we didn't mention cashback credit cards too much. Let me explain that to you. The thing is, you probably, and quite rightly at 20, think credit cards shouldn't touch them, yeah?
Yeah, just because you think it's debt, surely. It just kind of clicks in the brain that it's a bad thing.
Let me see if I can get this through, because many people struggle to understand this. Credit card has 2 functions. Function number 1 is borrowing. Function number 2 is a transactional card for spending. So what we can do is we can get rid of the debt function by setting up a direct debit to pay it off in full each month.
Yeah.
So now there's no debt, because there's no interest being charged.
I'm spending the money anyway.
So there you go. So you're going to spend the money. What a cashback card does is simply gives you cash back each time you spend on the card. So
it seems insane, doesn't it? You get paid for spending your money. That seems brilliant. It's just like kind of...
Well, it is. And you said to me before you actually spend more than 30 grand when you thought about it.
Yeah, because when I think about it, because it's work and stuff, you know, stuff related to work, you know, it comes to a lot of money.
Well, you're putting your expenses on there, aren't you, as well, I would guess. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. You say it seems funny they'll give you the cash. The way to think about it is this. You probably don't know, but when you spend on a credit card, the retailer has to pay, right? Okay. So they pay between 1% and 5%, depending which card it is, of everything you spend. They have to give to the card company. So what the card company is doing is effectively giving it you back. They're trying to entice you to borrow, but if you don't borrow, you win.
Yeah, exactly.
Were you shocked about the amounts here?
I didn't know I was paying that for the Premier account, because they were like, here, we're going to give you this really nice account with a special card, and you're like, OK, cool. But there's actually no benefits for that money, so it's just...
I mean, they'll probably say that you get a little bit of a better interest rate here and there, and there'll be some ancillary products, but if you're not using them, you know, generally they're not worth it anyway, trust me, but if you're not using them, there's absolutely no point in doing this. I just wanted to go in... The savings, you understood the point there. I mean, you said you were with ING Direct. Did you get it from the... Where did you see it? Was it the adverts? How did you choose it?
The internet, actually. It was on the net.
You went to a comparison site?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
This is the problem.
And at the time, it was the best.
Well, exactly. But that's my point in a way.
Because it was a year and a half ago, so you should kind of regularly...
6 months. Every 6 months, you need to check every product that you have. I mean, you're earning 400 quid interest by moving to the best now, but I can't guarantee in 2 years' time that will still be a decent account. And this is about activity. But you're actually sounding quite savvy. Are you interested in the money stuff?
The money stuff, yeah. It's going to sound really stupid, but before last year, I was just spending money kind of just from whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, you know. But in this last year, I've actually found more enjoyment in saving the money and putting it away in different things, Do you know what I mean? I opened up a company.
Thank you, guys,
like
please.
Yeah, no.
Thank you very much.
You know, it's your money. You work hard for it. Do you know what I mean? So you want your money to work for you, and I've actually opened up my own company. You know, which from what I'm doing. So when you earn a certain amount, you know, it's better to do that way for tax reasons. But I've got the money in, like, my company now. So I'm not sure, you know, because it's a company money, can I take that out and put that in a savings account? Because it's in nothing account. It's in a standard thing.
Taking money out of a company involves some tax reasons because you have to pay tax when you take it out. But what you can do is you've got your money in your business account, but there's a thing sort of the equivalent of business savings account. Which bank are you with?
Again, that's Barclays.
OK, it's Barclays. I can't remember whether Barclays has one because I don't normally cover business, but there are many what they call investment accounts, which effectively means the money that you won't be using in your business, you move it into an investment account and it sits there and you just earn more interest on it. So you need to be looking at that. You can get up to 5% interest. Yeah, but it's still your company's money when you're doing that.
Surely you just open the account up in the name of the company.
In the name of the company, but it has to be a business investment account, which actually is just a savings account. I tell you what's fascinating for me, you see, is I hope you don't find this patronising, but you know, you're 20 and you're talking about being safe with your money. The great thing that scares me about people like you who get famous early is that you can lose the real understanding of what money's there for, that you've got to be there for life. You know, in your business, hopefully you'll still be around working at top of the bill in 30 years' time, but we don't know. And actually being sensible with your cash, like you seem to be, a very good role model. It's really nice to meet you. I'm very impressed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you. It's kind of you. Cheers. Smash, everybody. Thank you. Very kind of you. Ruthie.
Time for Martin's weekly challenge now. This is my favourite bit. OK, first of all, we've got Ian Crabtree. Where is he? Oh, hello.
He's behind you.
He is behind me. And Ian, are you a perfect 10?
No.
Oh, come on, sell yourself a bit more. Are you a perfect 10?
Yeah, all right.
Good luck.
Yeah, the easy way to answer is just imagine it was out of 100 and then you won't feel guilty for saying it. Personally, I'd give you a higher score, obviously.
What would you like to ask Martin?
Just a question about lottery winning, something like that. How would you pass it on to relatives and that without paying
Lottery
tax?
wins. So if you won some money on the lottery, it's quite simple, really. You can give away your money as you choose without a problem, unless you die in the next 7 to 10 years. Right, because it's inheritance tax that is the problem. How old are you?
38.
Yeah. I mean, fingers crossed, please God, there won't be any issues at all. You can give your money away willy-nilly as you choose. Simple as that, no tax implications whatsoever. Right, if there is, if anything were to happen to you, then they would back-claim your inheritance tax for a certain number of years. But I think, hopefully, the likelihood of that is very, 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 very limited. Very. Very. I hope you're still here. So have you won the lottery?
No.
We were all excited then, weren't you? Come on, with me. Oh, right. Well, listen, let me tell you, the chances of you not being here in 10 years are higher than they are you actually winning the jackpot on the lottery, no matter how old you are. That's a real mortality stat. Carry on, Ruth.
Thank you very much.
Cheers,
And good luck with that, Let us know if you do win. You can take us out for a drink. Where's Zoe? Hello, love.
I can guarantee a win on the lottery, actually.
Really?
I can guarantee everybody here £1 a week win on the lottery.
How'd you do that?
Don't play it. Not a joke. Real money-saving advice. Think about it. Only 50% of the lottery goes towards the prize fund. For every £1 we spend as consumers on average, we only get 50p back. Overall, the lottery is a losing sum as a player. Great for good causes. Think of it as a charity donation, not a way to make money. Yes?
Think on. Zoe, what do you want to ask him?
Right, Rose. Martin, I wanted to ask you about mortgages. I'm thinking of getting a mortgage now, but I'm worried because the market seems to have gone a bit crazy and lenders are pulling all their best deals, aren't they?
First-time mortgage.
Yes.
Right, never had one before. Look, the answer to this is very simple. The mortgage market is very tough out there. People don't want to give you money. How big's your deposit?
About 5,000, not much.
Right. What size of property are you looking for?
It's about 200,000.
Frankly, you want me to be absolutely honest, I think it's going to be a nightmare. You're going to struggle to get any form of decent mortgage. House prices, nobody knows what's going to happen to house prices. I certainly don't. Anyone who tells you they do, they're talking nonsense. What we can say is the risk of a crash is probably higher now than it has been at any time in the last 10 years. That doesn't mean we're going to see a crash. That just means the probability is higher. House prices could still go up. But the truth is, you would have to arbitrarily push your finances. How big a multiple would 200,000 be? What do you earn, if you don't mind me asking? Don't say if you don't want to.
That's OK, 25,000.
Well, look, you're on an 8 times multiple for it. Is it just you by yourself?
Yeah.
There's no way anyone's going to give you that money, and frankly, they shouldn't give you that money. You can't afford to buy a house right now. Save up, get as cheap rent you can, sort out your finances as best as possible, get a bigger deposit, and then see where the property market is in a year or two. I don't see house prices going up that much, so I don't think you'll have lost out that much by not getting a house right now. Never push your finances. Do you know what happens? The mortgage company loans you more than you can afford. You struggle with your finances. What do? You start getting credit cards and loans out at higher interest rates. Who gets that money? The same... I was going to swear. The same mortgage company and otherwise. Buying a house is fine if you can afford it, if you could afford interest rates to rise. We're going to have a nightmare over the next year of repossessions by people who've bought houses they can't afford. All those Northern Rock people who took 125% mortgages out. Do yourself a favour, my love. Renting isn't a dirty word. It's not a dirty word.
Can I just ask you, Zoe, quickly, how do you feel about that? Because initially it's quite depressing, but it's best to know, isn't it?
Well, it makes me feel safer, you know, with a bit of advice. You know what the future, the sensible option is to take. So I sort of feel safer now. I'm not going to do the wrong thing.
I mean, you could stretch all your finances. House prices go up 15% a year. You've taken the gamble and you've won. But in a way, it's better not to lose than it is to win. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying about that? You're better off not to risk losing and getting in real trouble than you are to have a big win. Sensible financial strategies. But then I'm risk-averse. There are some people out there who are gamblers. Not me.
Thank you very much, my love. Where's Paula Davis? Oh, hiya. Hello, Paula. What would you like to ask Martin?
I'd like to ask, I've got two girls and looking at saving for their university or college. What's the best way to save? Do I just shove it in a savings account?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing, first year of college or university?
Either or. They're only 9 and 6, so I've got a long way to go.
OK. I mean, hopefully the money will be there and the system is set up so they will be able to borrow money that will fund their university without you putting it forward. But if you've got spare cash, saving for their future generically, maybe you won't need it for a college fund, although college fund is coming in. Two choices, really. The real question is whether you put it in their name or you put it in your name. The problem is you put it in their name and ultimately it becomes your money. It becomes their money, and therefore you've got the risk question of hopefully when they're 18, they might go, party! Which we hope they don't do.
I know one that would.
So where do you feel with that?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm quite happy for it to be in their name if they would gain the benefit from it, but otherwise, obviously, it's safer to have it in mine.
The big advantage is they're not taxpayers. Are you a taxpayer?
No.
Oh, if you're not a taxpayer as well, I mean, I would frankly keep control of my own money. I would still open ISAs up. I'd still open up a cash ISA even if you're not a taxpayer, just in case you become a taxpayer in 4 or 5 years' time. So I'd put the money in a cash ISA first in your own name. I'd put the rest in a savings account in your own name. Until you start paying tax, there is no benefit in putting it in their name than in your name. None of you are taxpayers, and this way you keep control of the money. So just the best possible savings account. Count things 6.5%, and there's a range of others you can see. And as we're only on the web, I can say on moneysavingexpert.com, you'll find the savings account article that details it.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, my love. OK, where's Dennis? Hello. Last question for Martin, then.
Martin, I took out a shared appreciation mortgage with Barclays Bank.
I'm sorry.
10 years ago. And if I was forced to sell the house tomorrow, I'd have to pay them £150,000. So I've borrowed £39,500, and I'd also have to pay them back the £39,500. If I would have taken an ordinary mortgage and rolled over the interest, I would have had to pay them about £35,000.
Yeah.
What would you do?
What would I do? What would I have done? Now, I mean, you're in a very difficult situation. Sam's shared appreciation mortgage is quite a rare deal. There was sort of an equity split with the company where they get a share of any house price rise that you suffered. I mean, this is the thing about Sam's. And most people will go, you can't get them anymore, so don't worry about them now. The problem is, had it gone right, and had house prices not gone up very much, it would have been a very cheap way to get a mortgage. But because house prices have risen so sharply, then it's a very expensive way to get a mortgage. My problem isn't the product. I think it was a very clever product. My problem is most people didn't have it explained what would happen if we had house price rises of 20% a year, year after year, which is exactly what happens. It means you're left in the lurch. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't really look at Sam's that much. Haven't you, Barclays, offered some form of settlement to its Sam customers that RBS haven't?
No. It's in the settlement. They will stop it, cut it up, but you still have to pay them
they're going to
what you owe them. Or if you want to move, you can borrow that same amount at no interest.
There's been lawsuits on SAMs, there have been legal challenges on SAMs. Barclays have relented more than the other bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, I think it is. Apologies if it's not, but I'm pretty sure it might be Bank of Scotland. It is Royal Bank of Scotland, isn't it? They've relented more. Frankly, you're stuck, and I can't sometimes run to any answers. The main thing you can hope for, funny on the back, is you can hope for a house price crash, and you'd actually be slightly better off because you'd be able to get out of it and upgrade more easily. There isn't a legal solution. There isn't a practical solution. That's the contract you have. No one's been able to break it so far. I wish I could, but I can't. I'm sorry. But I'm sure you know the big SAM campaigns out there. You're probably a member of the Action Group, I'm guessing. Yeah, good luck to the Action Group. That's basically what I say. Sorry.
Keep shouting about it, Dennis. Well done. And well done, Money Maestro. But next week...
I didn't like ending on that.
I know,
I'm sorry.
it's a sad thing. But, you know, maybe it's something we can do something about that in the future.
We could.
Maybe you can.
Yeah. It'll be tough, though.
Next week will be a little different.
Yes, we're turning the show on its head. Normally, I say, you can save money on bill, this, that and the other, and we have our volunteers and everybody. Next week, we're actually going to see if you do it. That's it. 13 weeks we've been on here. Are we going to be able to spot you any savings?
I hope so. We've sent the cameras out to see exactly how much our studio volunteers have saved following Martin's money-saving methods.
You can catch up with that on Wednesday on 5 at 7:30.
Until then, keep money saving.
Because you know by now, it pays to watch.